WNN.
The following program does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff, management, ownership of the station. Jay and Janine are expressing their own opinions, and such is not a substitute for psychological or mental health advice. If you are experiencing an emergency, please hang up and call 911.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Momentum Mindset Show, where we're talking everything personal development, coaching, health, and the law. I'm your host, Jay, here with co-host Janine.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Please join us on Facebook, where we can be found at the Momentum Mindset Show. And if you want to call in and be part of the show, we would love to hear from you. It's 888-565-1470. And if being on live radio is not your thing, no problem. Send us your comments and we will interact with you on Facebook.
Let's create some momentum. And welcome to the Momentum Mindset Show, Friday afternoon. I'm your host, Jay Farrow.
And I am Janine Davis. Welcome, everybody. It has been one heck of a week. And does anybody else experience Warp Speed Week? Because it was yesterday that it was Monday, and now it's Friday. Although it's still Friday. I can't wait for the weekend.
I know, right?
We need it. We need it. Okay.
So we have a great show for you today. We do have a guest calling in later this show to talk about her journey of transformation. It's quite remarkable about her journey from where she was into where health and happiness. And that's going to be coming up about the mid show.
Yeah, about 5:30. Stay tuned with us.
And we have a bunch of topics that were suggested to us for this show, and I'm coming up with something right now for our weekly check-in, and this is what it is. It's like I have this way about me that it's like I like to take a sledgehammer and just like to go through a wall. When I get just like, hey, is it possible? Because I want to get on the other side of the wall, and a lot of times there's a door or a better way to do it. Right. But I mean, I'm
kind of the door kind of gal, but Jay's the sledgehammer kind of guy.
And as an entrepreneur and someone who's committed to practicing law in a different way, disrupting the practice of law, what was to challenge the legal community to do things in urgency for their clients and dispel with the billable hour. I mean, I'm all about taking on life and challenges and the like. And what I've noticed though is that we have a bunch of stuff in our life in what we're up to, and we have a bunch of stuff. I mean, we have this radio show. What you all don't know is that before the show we tape another show, and we are. I mean, we have projects. We have these shows that are our projects. We also have our website is our project.
Right. The Momentum Mindset. Actual trainings themselves are a project as well that we're working to develop.
Right. And then I have my personal stuff with the gym, my nutrition plan, my piano lessons, yoga. I mean, I have journaling like every other single night on Facebook. All of these things that I do, and I'm noticing that probably maybe 20% of the stuff I actually get done anymore, like in excellence. I mean, the rest of this stuff, there was a moment, and there are moments, and this is what I want to speak into. There's like these moments where you have like, it's like the excitement of it's like, okay, when we first started this radio show, or we first started doing the
TV show. The
TV show, but also with the type of practice of law that we're doing right now. Mm-hmm. When we sent out our first demand letters, I mean, there was like this really big excitement that is akin to, I would say, the beginning of a battle. It's just something that you've been leading up to. It's about crying revolution, and going after it and talking everybody into taking up arms and challenging the way things are.
Yes.
And then you get into the fight. Then you get into the space of, first of all, I didn't think it was possible to ever get here. I never thought I'd be on the radio. Never thought I was going to have this practice where we're going after cases that are multi-million-dollar cases. For some reason, I had these limiting beliefs. And I've smashed through these barriers.
Yes.
And I smashed through these barriers, and then all of a sudden I get into this space where it's like, man, it's like I have all of this stuff that I'm up to, but am I doing any of it well? Am I paying any attention to it? Am I doing the stuff that I need to be doing to get to the next level? Or am I just telling people that I'm doing a bunch of stuff and not really doing anything about it?
So what's the answer for you?
Well, this the thing is that it's like I had that stop, drop, and roll thing, and what's coming up for me as we're powering through the summer, and for all of you out there in Radioland and in South Florida, God bless us all for this getting through this summer. This heat,
This
particular summer
has been relentless.
You have enough
Just
going on.
disgusting. I mean, it's been horrible.
We're working
In terms of heat.
We're working with a former federal prosecutor up in Maryland right now, and he asked me, he's like, "How's the weather down there?" And I was like, and this is my experience over the last couple of days. I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but you walk outside and it's like nighttime. I'm walking Mitchell, and it's like you see the steam coming from the thing.
No, it's incredibly hot.
And I don't want to just be that guy who's complaining about the summer during summertime, but I'm going to do that. So, okay. So what I'm really talking about is that first step is that what on the other side of that fence is not possible. Being on the radio, whatever it is for you, like that. Oh my God, if I was ever there, I don't know what I'd do with myself. That would be enough. Or if I, it's that going after it, and then you break through these barriers, and then you come to this thing. And it's like, wait a second. I have so much going on in my life that some of the stuff I know is not getting done. It's like I have a piano lesson tomorrow, and I feel like, oh my God, I have to leave this show tonight, practice for a few hours before I show up to the piano lesson tomorrow that I have to do after my workout.
Which, by the way, your workouts are insanity, because I share a little bit of space and I do like my version of a workout, but because you're more fit than I am and you have a different regimen than I do, but good Lord, I look over every now and then and I'm like, is this kid going to drop dead? Because it would be a legitimate reason to drop dead. And you do it and like you're into it. It's really remarkable. I'm just like, oh God.
Yeah, the workouts are like my medicine. Okay,
no,
so
I
that's
get
one
it.
thing that I would say that I'm doing. I would say 85 to 90% of what I
Yeah,
and
you
that's
do
fine. I'm
not
good.
give up on that.
I'm
That's
really,
the one thing.
I'm really
yeah.
good. Then there's the piano lessons that fall by the wayside. We were late showing up for one of our tapings today, and I was saying to Janine, I was really just ticked off. I mean, it was like, how is it possible that we're late for these kinds of things? And then it drew up a better conversation of, man, we're going after all of these things supposedly, and it's like, are we even on the right path, or are we just like distracted by all of these things in this thing, instead of just saying, okay, let's take a look at this for a while, and let's map out the next couple of weeks to say, all right, to check in, to say, all right, we're committed to do these things. This is what we are committed to doing, and let's see if we can handle these things in the next 2 weeks. And for all you entrepreneurs out there and people going things and going after goals, what I'm talking about is a check-in, a big time, come to Jesus type check-in and saying, hey, am I really up to my stuff, or am I just saying that I'm busy to somehow impress somebody or something?
Right. So here's the thing, Jay and I were talking about it, and I've been actually behind the scenes. Of course, you all don't know, but behind the scenes, I've been saying to Jay, like, we need to focus. We get to focus. We need to focus. We get to focus. We get to focus. I don't even know what that means at this point, but I know that I feel it in my bones. I feel it in every crevice of my body that this is something that is missing because we have so many shiny objects going on at the time. And one of the things that I hear a lot from people who are playing a really big game, magnets of business, people who, you'd want to hang out with, in theory, they all say, saying no to good to be able to say no to great. We don't even know what that means because we're in the year of yes. And I think that there's an amazing amount of value in that. But what I think that the value in it is being so open to that also allows you to be discerning of where you're putting your energy, where you're putting your focus, where you're allotting your dollars, because that can also be another way to not be mindful. It can be being yes, here, there, everywhere is also another way to be disconnected. So for me, what's been coming up a lot is, what are we doing on purpose? And what could we create if we were intentional and focused? My curiosity is in that space right now. That's what's coming up for me a lot. So you have a different way of going about it. Your thought process is different than mine, of course, which is why I think we make good partners because, again, you like to go through the wall with a sledgehammer. I like to find the door. And there's a space for the sledgehammer because that's the way you grow. And then there's a space for what I bring to it. So it's a really good thing. What became abundantly clear to us today, this week, I think, is also the love of what we do here in the momentum mindset, and being in the space of personal development is something that is really important to both of us.
That is one of the things over and over the last week that's come up for me, and speaking with people and coaching certain people into different things in their life. And it's like, I don't coach people. Like I don't have coaching clients. I mean, that's not
Right.
something that I do. I mean, I support my legal clients. It's not the same as coaching my clients.
Sure.
But when people come up to me and they're asking me, like, how did I do it? You know, what is it that keeps me going to do the next thing, and I support them, and I call it like laser coaching, or some people need a kick in the butt.
Yeah, totally.
But that feeling of connecting to another human being, to invite them to their possibility and their greatness, is like, there's nothing else higher for me. I mean, there's no other game in town.
Right.
So when you talk about the momentum mindset and preparing the momentum program, I mean, I connect to that because we're preparing this momentum program, and we met with our coach as we do the first Wednesday of the month. We have a mastermind group, and we get coached in bringing our program to life, to create the avatars that we're going after, and also the preliminary show. It's the
Right. It's the pilot.
the pilot program.
The pilot program. Yeah.
So we're doing all of that, and as with anything else, we have this meeting in the first Wednesday of the month, and then we just leave the program alone, and then we're going over here,
because we're
here,
so incredibly
and there,
distracted. And the
here,
second.
and there.
Thank you. And every single time we get more and more off track. We could see it that way, though. And this is where I think our work and the growth comes into place. I was saying to Jay, he was saying, also on the way up here, he was saying what it takes to have the 6 meals and to this and to be so regimented and to this, that, and the other. Jay is amazing with the discipline of the gym. And this is something that I get to be infected by because that's where I fall off a little bit. But I would say my biggest thing is the rigor of calling on the highest, best version of myself to make decisions, to make the choice, to see what we're going through right now and sort of this like haze of confusion and warp speed of things that goes, and actually sit back and think, this is happening for me. It's here to teach me something, and always going to that, and that being my default instead of what I used to go to, which was abject frustration, abject, whatever the case may be, and remunerate it. So my point is that it is stop, drop, and roll time. Where is it stop, drop, and roll for you guys? Anyone who may be listening or catches up on the show, we would love to hear from you, because part of what this transformation is all about, it's an ongoing process. It's not something that just happens. It's a muscle that you're constantly exercising.
You're constantly coming up to that second guessing. What am I doing? Wouldn't it be easier to be on a couch right now? All of those conversations every single day come up for me, and no matter what it is that I'm up to, I have to literally force myself every day to get. I now go to the library for a couple hours a day.
Right.
That's
your happy place for work.
For my work time. Mm-hmm. I got to force myself to go to the gym every single day. I got to the 6 meals every single day. I want to have my ice cream. It doesn't get. I'm constantly up against it, and it's like. That feeling of that, it's like, man, I see people like taking it easy, and you see it, and it's like, when is this going to show up where there's like a breath, like I want to breathe.
Right.
And then you look at everything, and it's like, wait a second, if I am not in integrity with the things that I say that I'm up to, I'm checking in with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the thing is, if you're getting nothing done, it's. Here's what I was at when on the way here, and I'm just gonna let me get this out. I got to a pain point, and this is where I was kind of going with the first segment. Got to a pain point. Maybe we just talk about this on the other side of this break. I got to a pain point in the car, And that's the pain point of just knowing that I just cannot feel like another week has gone by that I didn't do X, Y, and Z. And we'll talk about this on the other side of the break.
Yeah, let's get back to this because this is some good stuff. We hope you think so too. But.
Farrow Law Firm, standing up to corporate bullies, using innovative, aggressive, and effective strategies to resolve disputes effectively and timely. Contact us at 954-252-9818, online at farrowlawfirm.com, and on Facebook at Farrow Law Firm. We look forward to being of service to you.
You've been listening to the Momentum Mindset Show.
With Jay and Janine, give us a call at 888-565-1470. And now back to the show.
Welcome back to the Momentum Mindset Show on Friday afternoon, midsummer. Happy heat to everybody out there in
Welcome back,
Radioland
everybody.
and watching us on Facebook. We like to invite everybody to, and we just did on Facebook, write in and let us know how you feel about the subject. I mean, and we're talking about the pain point, and the context is this. How many of you have had something that a project that you've been working on, or something that's very, very important to you, or something that you wanted to do at work, or maybe to create a resume, or the thing that you need to do to get to the next level, and then a week goes by, and then another week goes by, and even though that you have it on your calendar and you're doing maybe a little bit on it, maybe you're doing 5% or 10%, that pain point that you just look at yourself in the mirror and it's like, what am I doing with myself? I mean, what is it about me knowing that I promised myself I was going to get this done, but it's not getting done, whatever that is in your life. I mean, that pain point I hit as I was making that U-turn to come into the studio today.
Yeah, I can see that. And I want to qualify this though, because I don't think it's fair to us and to what we actually do to say that nothing is getting done. I think that I would say the distinction is, and to be clear, at least for myself anyway, is that it's not getting done the way we think it should be done. In other words, it's not at the point of excellence even remotely. And I think that this is really where the pain point is, because you're called to do better. You're called to grow. You know you've got it in you, and it's frustrating as heck not to get to it.
But Janine, I mean, I'm talking about the project we've been working on. I mean, it's like we just let it go. I mean, it's like we have this epiphany every time we have that session with Donnell, and then it's like we do it and we're like rah 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 rah, and it's like the law of diminishing attention.
This?
It's like, and then all of a sudden a week goes by, and then it's the couple hours before we go, onto that Zoom call, and we're like, okay, what are we doing? And it's like you have to pull out your notes. We don't remember what we're doing, and so when I say like we're not really doing anything, I
wasn't talking. Okay. That yes, I'm talking about everything else we're doing.
Okay, let's talk about the other stuff that we're doing, because my feeling is it's like the same thing with the other show. It's like I get it. We're tired. We have all kinds of stories and conversations.
I'm going to tell you some feedback I get when I tell people what I'm up to. People who have known me for 30 years tell me, you are setting yourself up for failure because you're just doing way too much. And this is why you're tired. And this is why you're exhausted. And this is why you're frustrated. Because there's no way one human being can do all of that stuff. And my conversation to them is, how dare you? These are my dreams. I don't know. So I think I think we're at a point where we get to stop, drop, and roll.
When I was talking to you last night, we were talking about your health, and I said if it meant that whatever for our respective healths, that we walk away from the law firm, you walk away from everything else to get a healthy. But one other part of our health is a healthy thing is being happy. A healthy thing is a healthy lifestyle is doing the thing that you're dreaming about doing. And if it's letting us up to know that we're connecting with other people and to go after that. And it's like that should be like in my mind, like the priority, and then the other stuff comes after that. Because for my health concern, it's certainly not responding to this ridiculous motion to dismiss that I saw today. I mean,
yeah, that was an embarrassing piece. The rampant ineffective counsel that is out there is shocking, but that's not what we're talking about here. But yeah.
Okay, so but that and even the angst that we got, because we got the motion to dismiss at 3:45, and that we started to read, and we both decided that nonsense was more important than getting
It's
our
true,
butt
because
in the
I did
car
say that. I'm
and
like,
getting
oh my
over
gosh,
here.
I started reading the motion to dismiss, and that's what made us late. And Jay, yeah, rightly so, was like, who cares about that? It's true. We got to listen, there's an argument for everything. But the point is, transformation requires you to constantly be checking in. Constantly. We're constantly readjusting. We're constantly trying new things. We're constantly stretching ourselves. But what we are constantly also is tired. And I think sometimes and it's not even about taking a break. It's about really assessing what it is that we're doing, prioritizing it, and really holding ourselves to a standard, a schedule, and to the values.
Because the analogy about the plane's always off course.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
as it's going to its destination. Well,
Yeah.
I recognize that, but today I wanted to crash a plane. It's like and there's a little bit of
Yeah.
fun. There's a little fun that I play with my mind, sometimes where I think, you know what, let's just burn it all down. Let's just burn it.
Okay, so that's why I'm your partner, because that's a terrible idea,
I'm
Jen.
just saying that, but it feels good to have that feeling of saying, you know what, I don't even need to shove this anymore. I don't care. Not to say that you do that in the end, because there's
don't-
always like,
please don't do that,
you,
people.
I'm not. Wait a second.
No, I know.
No, but it's like give yourself that opportunity to say, I'm going to crash this guy. Whatever. I'm done. And then you pick it up right before the thing. I had an airline pilot. I had a pilot that I was learning from, and the guy was like 80 years old. He's since passed, and it was out of Pompano. And we would do this short field landings with this guy, and he was like an old Navy pilot. So he's like, let's make the thing shorter, make the landing strip shorter, And this guy, we're coming in, and I'm like, there's no way. What are we doing? He's like, we're gonna not only land on this short thing, but we're gonna peel off before okay, so this thing's like a mile long. So he wanted to land within 50 yards, right?
Oh, good Lord.
But he purposely took the plane and we was going down like this. And as he explained to me as we were going down, he's like, well, there was this one time where the plane cut out whatever, and somehow, some way he pulled it out at the end, And why? He said because I knew how to do it. He was teaching me a lesson about how the plane would respond in certain scenarios and how you have more leeway than you think. So don't be taking away the fear of landing. He did by almost crash landing. So, but he's like, why we didn't crash is because I know what I'm doing. So when I say that, if you've been doing this for a while, if you've been transforming for a while, and you've been waking up at 3:45 in the morning, or you've been creating discipline in life, the good part about all of that work is that you can sometimes saying, you know what, I want to burn the village, crash the plane. But then you know how to pull yourself up and dust yourself off and get
that's
back.
a very good point,
and
actually.
get back into the thing. So for me, I need that feeling of I'm done, and it just lets my brain relax for a second and say, okay, we're done. The plane's.
It's all over now. You can rest.
The plane's going down, and I'm okay with that.
Right,
But
right.
Again, I felt that pain point in the car over here, and I was like, all right, you know what? Now that I know that I'm here, it's like that stall point where, all right, I know that's my thing. I don't want to feel like this again.
Right.
I don't want to feel like this again. So how can we recommit in such a way to be in integrity with the things that we say that we're up to, and then from that point check in a week from now? Because what's really cool is when you put things on a list, like make your bed or clean the dishes, if you did it or not. It's pretty easy to determine whether you did it or not. And all of that stuff will help you do the work that you're doing in your regular life. I mean, because you're getting a little ego boost so every time you get something small done.
Yeah. Well, you're fulfilling promises to yourself, and beyond the ego, when you fulfill promises to yourself, you're actually feeding your sense of self-determination and self-esteem, which is ultimately what takes you out of these darker times. And again, we are so transparent on this show. It's scary to me and really offends my English girl sensibilities. And I so appreciate it, because it is a safe space to discuss all of these things that go on, and particularly for people who are entrepreneurs. And I was having dinner with an old friend of mine, 20 years, and she and her husband are business partners, and they pull it down in a very magnificent way. But the truth of the matter is that she says it all day long. It's amazing. I wouldn't have it any other way. And it's absolute insanity. It's absolute insanity. There's never, you're always on to an extent, but this is the life you choose. And this is what you're creating. And there's something really powerful in that. But I think I tell you that to tell you this. Everything has its light and its dark. Everything. Everything is an Oreo, right? So, you've got the dark parts and you've got the light parts, and you choose sometimes which one you're playing more in. Sometimes you just want to eat the middle. You're all about the light. But the dark is part of it too. And it's part of the growth in all of this also. And that's what I'm saying, that it can get a little exhausting to always be looking at it like that. And it's really empowering to look at it like that.
I like to come and get clear about what we're actually up to for the next couple of weeks. I mean, we have the rest of the summer. I mean, it's just time to do, that check-in for
I
us.
would actually love nothing more.
Because that, for me, it's just to know that there's a clarity as, okay, I know at the end of this week, and even at night, I don't know if it's this way for you. For me, when I put my head down at night, and I've done everything from to make the bed to do the journaling, I feel really, really good.
Of course, it's because you fulfill promises to
That
yourself.
satisfaction of that particular day is actually one of the greatest joys that I have had in this journey of transformation. When I've done a day and I know I've done it in excellence, and I've committed things to myself, and I've completed those commitments. So check in.
Check in, and we'd love to hear what other people are up against, because whether you're an entrepreneur or you're not, it doesn't matter. We're all up against our own conversations about pushing the limits. Everybody feels overworked. Everybody feels scattered on some level. Or I should say most people, not everybody, but a lot of people feel scattered, and that they're, applying themselves in way too many things or being too many things to too many people. And that can be a frustrating place to live in. And it's a privilege too. I mean, these are healthy problems, let's face it. So in that vein, I'm very much looking forward to clarity.
And speaking of health, on the other side of this break, we have a guest. It's Anna Sador. And I met her through a friend, and her story is quite remarkable of her life transformation. And I think there's some pictures up on Facebook of part of the journey that she's been on. And what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks is we've been bringing on people with some tremendous stories about their personal transformation.
Yep.
And we check in and see what it was for them to get moving and to shift the direction of their life.
Yeah.
And I know she's going to be calling in, so we'll take a break right now, and if she's there, we'll find her. We'll wait, and we'll see what we can come up with if she's not there.
I'm sure there's no lack of topics. So
and if you feel like you're brave enough, if you want to actually do it, we do have a call-in line. It's 888-565-1470. And write us on Facebook. Tell us about
please let us know what you're going through.
Yeah, what's your journey. This is a safe space. If you were up for some laser coaching, some little bit of life advice, some wisdom, we're here for you.
Yes, and to that point, I was speaking to a coachee that I have, and she said something very powerful to me. She says, the only thing that I would say that you need in your life, Janine, is you. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, you need to take the unbelievable butt-kicking advice that you give me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to coach the heck out of myself. Amen. So we'll see you on the other side of the break.
Farrow Law Firm, standing up to corporate bullies, using innovative, aggressive, and effective strategies to resolve disputes effectively and timely. Contact us at 954-252-9818, online at farrowlawfirm.com, and on Facebook at Farrow Law Firm. We look forward to being of service to you.
You've been listening to the Momentum Mindset Show
with Jay and Janine. Give us a call at 888 888-565-1470. And now back to the show.
Welcome back to the Momentum Mindset Show. Your host, Jay Farrow.
And I'm Janine Davis.
And we have a guest on the show, and I met Anna the other day via telephone, and I know her through a friend of mine, Shimon, up in upstate New York. And she has a tremendous story of transformation that deals with her health and where she's going now and what she's up to. So, Anna, can you hear us?
Anna, are you there?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hey,
Welcome to the Momentum Mindset Show.
Welcome to the show. I was just saying that
thank
we
you
met
for-
on the phone last week, and we had a really powerful conversation, and I'm so glad that you had the chance to call in. And we're talking about today about pain points and what it really took to get someone to change and shift and move. And I know that you have a very just an amazing story about your health and your transformation. And why don't you just give us a taste of how it was for you and what you've been up to for the last number of years. I know that a lot of it's centered around your health, right?
Yeah, the last 6 years I've been on a journey to lose weight, and also to get very healthy. So I've lost 161 pounds,
say
almost half my
160?
body
Wow.
weight.
161?
Yeah,
Wow.
161.
Anna, that's tremendous.
Yeah, I started at 340 and I'm down to 179 now. So
Wow, that is,
And-
congratulations. That is incredible.
It's like another human being walking around.
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm a different person now, and I did it all through diet and exercise and self-discipline and conscious decision making.
So Anna, what was it that brought you to, what was the moment, or what were maybe the series of events, or what was it for you that created that shift in your actions, that brought you to the weight loss and to actually sticking to it and keeping going?
I was in a lot of pain physically and emotionally, and I had a really sort of traumatic experience with a friend, and it made me realize that I didn't want to be alone in this life, and that I wasn't happy with myself, and who would want me when I wasn't happy. And so what could I do to make myself happy and to be able to find somebody, to share this life with. So that was the real motivation. I didn't want to be alone, and I didn't want to be in pain anymore. I was in a lot of pain.
Okay. So I can imagine throughout your journey, obviously you lost the weight, but I'm curious, what else came up for you during this period of time?
Well, something that really, I started to think about the body, what is the body? And we think of ourselves as these solid objects, right?
Yeah.
But then when you look at atoms, they're made up of these electrons and nucleuses, and they're moving constantly. And I realized, okay, every cell in our body is made up of these atoms that are moving constantly. So we might think we're a solid object, but we're not a solid object. We're an event. We are an event that's always changing. So there's nothing imprinted in stone. We are not stone. We're flesh and blood and fire that changes and flows. And that was the big revelation, to be able to start to do quantum surgery on myself.
Speaking more into that, because I'm a fan of quantum physics. I study quantum physics almost every single day. I spend an hour on a lecture series in the evenings, and I'm fascinated by what you just said, because it is in fact the universe recreating itself at a nanosecond, 1 to the 50 something second, that the universe gets to come back together based upon whatever's perceived on it through consciousness. And what was it though that sparked this idea of these quantum surgeries, and who you've been working with, and what is some of the advice that you could give some of our listeners about how you did it? Because you're living a new life.
Right, but go ahead, please, Anna, take it away.
I'm not really sure. I'm trying to think how I got there. I've been an artist, but I've also been I was a chef for many years, and so, I was a scientist too, art and science. And and just thinking about, you think about digestion. I guess a lot of it was about digestion. Like, we take in these foods, these fuels that are filled with energy, and we break them down in our body, and we make new parts of our body, and we get rid of what we don't need, and we store what we can use for later. So I think that's probably what got me thinking about it, was that digestion, and what does it break down to below digestion? Like, what is it once we're just cells and then atoms and then just energy.
and then we were talking also about what was it for you that really took your life into the next direction? Because I know what it was for me, and you get to that point of that pain point. What was it for you on if you don't mind sharing? Really was a catalyst that started you down the path of health from where you were.
Like as I said, I got to the point where I was so unhappy with my body. I was in so much pain. I'd had 3 back surgeries. I needed a new hip.
Oh, good Lord.
And then I'd PTSD from my childhood. And so for many years I did escapist behavior, where I just ate and I slept and I did a bunch of drugs and I did everything to not feel what I was feeling.
Sure.
And so that, I reached some pretty bad points with that stuff, like just doing stupid things with stupid people.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
And then it works until it doesn't, and then there's some of us that make it through all of that pain. And when you mentioned something about your childhood, I mean, I know we had talked on the phone, and it was quite a story about what you had gone through for many years. I get to ask this question, and maybe you do as well, is what keeps you going? What keeps you with the mindset of health, of staying that you're I don't know if you've hit your goal or not, but what is it for you that keeps you going? What is that energy? What is that fuel? I'm talking about mind fuel that makes your brain set on, I'm going to continue down this path.
Well, a lot of it right now still has to do with pain. Like, I'm still in a lot of pain. A lot of fascial pain. I realize my body is healed a lot. The shape of it is healed quite a bit, but the fascia hasn't healed. And so really, if I don't do the exercise right now, I'm in pain. And I just don't want to be in pain anymore. So that's really what motivates me. Is
what type
I
of
realize
exercise
you have
are you
to
doing?
move your body.
I was just going to ask
Yeah, you have to move your body, because when you move your body and use your muscles, that's when you make more energy. It sounds so weird, but that's when, I think it's the HTTP or to whatever chemical reaction or something. But when you use your muscles, you make more energy. It's beautiful, and that's also when you make all the pain relief neurochemicals in your body and stuff like that. You release all these things, and so really, freedom from pain is my main motivation.
You mentioned something about getting these massage, getting a massage, and I'd like you to plug that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, we talk about the exercise, but we don't talk about the recovery.
Yes.
And so talk about that, what it was like for you for that, how big of a part of your journey is that actually the recovery and those massages?
Well, I get a 90-minute massage every week.
Wow,
and
that's fantastic.
And I don't think I could have done this without it, because it is so painful to do the work. It's just painful. I've been in pain, and I end up having to have my hip replaced. I finally got my hip replaced a year ago. But it's so painful doing all this work that you need something to treat yourself. But also, when you do massage, it allows you to be in your body and really check in with the places and be like, oh, what hurts, or what's working or what's not working, and then send the energy there to heal yourself.
Yeah.
And that's you have to give yourself permission to heal, and I think you have to do manual permission. And so I think that massage helps you manually tell yourself, okay, this is where I can let go, and this is where I can change shape.
Wow, that's fantastic. So what is your eating regimen like, if you don't mind us asking?
Well, I do. It's been so many different things. But I first cut out soda, and then I started to eat, less, and then now I'm doing the fasting where I don't eat till like noon or like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then I'm done
Intermittent
eating by like
fasting?
6 o'clock at night. Yeah, intermittent fasting. Yeah. So I'm doing that, and I'm trying to eat as little sugar as possible, because that's the thing that makes your anxiety go up, and it causes inflammation, and it just makes you feel horrible in general.
That's the hardest thing it's the
to
hardest
kick
thing
sugar
to kick sugar.
is-
It's
oof.
just like, it really
You
is.
said it, and I was like, "Ooh, sweet." Like it does something to the brain.
But
And
and to your
it's
point
more
about
addictive than anything.
about sodas, I cut sodas out 2 years ago, and I feel the difference. I mean, and I see people consuming the Diet Cokes and the regular Cokes, like it really makes a huge difference, and people don't realize how much sugar is in actually one Coca-Cola or 7-Up.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
And
it's
so many
incredible.
other processed foods, too, like so much food. I walk into a store, and I just see sugar on the shelves, and I go, oh, my God, I don't want any of it.
Wow.
How
So
long
I
did it
do-
take?
so now
How
I
long did it
grow
take for you to start feeling a little bit better when you decided to change? Because that's something else our audience asks quite a bit. How long is this going to
2
take?
months. It took 2 months of me, when I started to get the massages and started to go to the gym, it took 2 months to start feeling like I had more energy and like not being completely beat up when I left the gym or just in general.
Right.
It's
took a
certainly not
while.
overnight, and that's the
Yeah,
thing,
and
but
I thank you for mentioning that.
And I want the audience to hear that 60 days.
Yep.
I know it sounds, I mean, from someone who doesn't even work out at all, like impossible, but literally like one day at a time, and that's what it was, for me
Oh,
to
yeah.
get to the gym. It's possible. I mean, what would you recommend is someone starting out, they're listening to your story, they were where you were 6 years ago. I mean, where
Aquatic therapy.
What's
Warm
that?
warm water pool, totally. So I've had 3 back surgeries, and after my last couple of back surgeries, they had me do aquatic therapy, and it takes the gravity away.
She said
It's
aquatic.
warm.
Okay, so hang on, because you're speaking a little bit fast about this part. It's called
sorry.
aquatic therapy. You heard about
Yeah,
this?
so it's
No, I've never heard of it. Please tell us about it.
so you use like a warm water therapy pool, and you do like strengthening exercises, cardio, balance, all sorts of stuff.
Sounds good.
But it's great for people who are really overweight and have joint problems and arthritis and fibromyalgia. It's like,
Wow.
as I said, it takes the gravity away, and it's warm, and it's relaxing, and it's very soothing, and so it's a lot more, it's easier for somebody to get into than going to the gym and doing stuff on dry land.
Wow. Okay, so do you still do aquatic therapy? Is that the meat and potatoes of your workout, or what is the meat and potatoes of your workout now?
Now I'm doing yoga. I've been doing yoga for about
Yoga.
4 years,
It's everywhere.
and then I started doing Pilates, and then I added in cycling, and I added in swimming, and I'm just trying, now that I can move again, so I got my hip replaced a year ago, so I can actually walk again for the first time in years.
Oh,
And
good
so
Lord.
now I can actually do things that I couldn't do for years, so I'm just trying it all.
Wow. So that's also a beautiful payoff, really, to all of the effort. Because it sounds like you're living a different life completely.
I love stories like this because it's like, think about it. I mean, 6 years ago, I mean, none of this was possible. I mean,
Right.
as it
No.
stood what it were. And then because of the individual choices that you made over the last 6 years, I mean, you're like you just said, you want to experience it all because you can experience
'Cause
it
you
all.
can.
And I mean, that's
Yes.
that whatever you have, Anna, that was what we consider to be the momentum mindset. Because you've been
Absolutely.
doing it for 6 years, and I'm just acknowledging you now especially for coming on and being courageous enough to tell your story on the
Yeah,
air.
and to share yourself with us
and-
is amazing.
And to put yourself out there, because the last question I would have for you is, what's next for you? What's next for your journey of transformation?
Well, I mean, at this point, so I'm not depressed for the first time in 35 years. Like, that's amazing. Like, even more transformational than my body stuff is that mind thing. And so now I'm ready to go back to work. I've been on disability for 10 years.
Wow.
And so I'm ready to contribute again, which is just amazing.
That's
so I might,
amazing.
I might start with volunteering, but I'm working my way back to doing something like that. So.
I just got goosebumps because I'm just listening to your story, and it's just like thinking about that you're on disability and now you're going back to work to be a contribution. And I just, again, I want to acknowledge you and thank you for taking the time to speak with us this afternoon and to share your story with our listeners. And you know, we can, you know, I'd like to see what's next for you and, you know, have you on again.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you ever come down to Florida, I mean, I want you to come on the set with us.
Come on the set with us, and really thank you for taking the time. And I just love the story. And so
yeah, it's a beautiful.
And we'll be right back.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay.
Farrow Law Firm, standing up to corporate bullies, using innovative, aggressive, and effective strategies to resolve disputes effectively and timely. Contact us at 954-252-9818, online at farrowlawfirm.com, and on Facebook at Farrow Law Firm. We look forward to being of service to you.
You've been listening to the Momentum Mindset Show
with Jay and Janine. Give us a call at 888-565-1470. And now back to the show.
And welcome back to the Momentum Mindset Show and our final segment of this Friday afternoon. Everybody who's driving home, it's going to be a fun weekend for all of us. I mean, it's been a long week, and I want to thank our guest Anna that was just on, and our guest from last week, Janine, and the stories that we're getting. And this is what I love about what we're hearing
people
about.
Who share their journeys with us. It's such an honor, really.
To for 6 years and to keep the weight off and to go and then to say that my win is to go back to work to be a contribution. It's
and
just
to be
amazing.
Feeling good, even more than the weight loss. She feels good about herself.
Now, one of the things
amazing.
that and I'm glad that we had her on because the not the advice but the suggestions I've handed out this week to people about how does this start. Like, I want to start this journey of transformation. I want to shift my life. I want to go after things that maybe I'm not even dreaming about it, but how do I even start to actually go through that first iteration, the first 60 days, you know? And it's like, and I'll tell you this, for me, and I'm just going to share this, it's getting in and moving your body.
Yep. It's
walking those 10 minutes a day. It's that simple. Because once your mind starts to think again and getting oxygen to your brain, you're going to be able to start thinking. This is what happened for me. I didn't start out, a year and a half ago to do this. I thought that I was just going to get six-pack abs on the beach so I can go take my shirt off on the beach because I had a thing about my body. I was very ashamed of my body. During those 4 months of not eating sugar, of not eating dairy, of eating the same 6 meals a day, and then going to the gym 5 days a week, I developed discipline and my brain started to repair itself. It started to actually think and feel and think about, why not me? That's what the walk. If you're going to go for a walk for 10 minutes a day, if you're going to start there, if you can start in the gym, start in the gym. Start someplace doing something physical with your body because your physiology.
Yeah. So for some people, it's going to be dancing. For some people, it's going to be martial arts. For some people, it's going to be yoga, Pilates. There's an endless amount of different ways to move your body. Try them all and figure out which one can allow you to be most consistently committed to that. I'm actually going through that. We're going to talk about it now. I have gone for ages in so many different iterations of this physical. I've been in shape where I literally stopped traffic a couple times. Of course, it was 10 years ago, but still, I vow to do it again. But my point is, like, I haven't found the best, highest way to move my body. I haven't found a place where I don't feel completely depleted and exhausted after the workouts yet. I don't know if I just didn't allow myself to get in proper shape. I don't know what it is for me and what I'm going through. And you mentioned, some health things going on. I don't want to use any of that as excuses because no matter what, I have the privilege to move my body. And if I choose not to, then I get to check in with myself because it is a privilege. Anna was just talking about how she couldn't move for years. So, I get to check in with that too. But whatever it is for you, Jay is right. You know, that connection, we're one united thing. We can't pretend we don't have hands and legs and whatever. It's all part of being in flow with ourselves. It's that, you know, what is so attractive about yoga to me anyway is that it creates that unity between body, mind, and spirit. And we're all of that. This one iteration, whatever you see. And so, yeah, move your body. I went for a walk yesterday. It felt great. I didn't go for a walk already this morning because I was tired and my stories and this. Tomorrow I'll be back in the gym, you know, kicking myself for not being more consistent about it because it kicks my butt and then I'm exhausted for the rest of the day. But I'm going to do it anyway.
When you think it doesn't matter, but it does. One of the things that
It
showed
does.
up this week is that we got the numbers back from our accountant, like from the last couple of years. We were just going through that. And we doubled our income last year. And so, I mean.
Right. And that's because we thought we had like the worst year ever. And in reality, you know, different things. But if you look at it on black and white, I mean, I looked up from the thing when I was seeing the report and getting all of everything sorted out by the accountant. I looked up to Jay and I was like, oh my God.
So,
because you see it in black and white. I mean,
in the fiscal year that I went through the transformation from 2018 to 2019, we went up.
No, 2017 to 2018,
but, right.
and more. Yeah, and this whole
And
past
now,
year. Yeah.
now we're on track to double that. I mean, it looks like. So, I mean, it all started with my body. It all started with exercise. It all started with giving your physiology the opportunity to affect your psychology, and that to me is the number one thing, and that I will, you know, take it to the bank. If you start moving your body, I mean, and if you want to check in with us, right into the show. If you want us to be, if you want us to be your accountability buddy for the week that you said you're going to commit to yourself, write us on Facebook. You know, send me a direct message. Say, Jay, I want you to be my accountability buddy this week, and we will do that. You know, just check in and say, I made it to the gym this week. I walked 10 minutes this week. I mean, your life will change, because Anna didn't start off, didn't you know, get 6 years down the road and where she's at right now. You know, she started someplace. She didn't, you know, she didn't just sit where she was, and that's for all of us. And it requires motion, it requires momentum, and the thing is, a couple of days into it, then you have momentum. Your freight train is actually, it's moving, it's left the station, and you have a shot at a life beyond your wildest dreams. It's just a matter of getting going and getting started. I mean, it is not rocket science. Okay, moving your body. You know,
and it really is one foot in front of the other, right? Because
Right.
that is what motion is. It's one foot in front of the
might
other.
even be drinking 2 cups of water tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you're doing something, it's going to be able, you know, it's going to affect you, you know, down the.
And
down-
from there, you build on it, right?
build
So it's, you know, maybe the 10 minutes a day and the 2 cups of water, and then it's 4 cups of water and 20 minutes a day, and you build on it. You build on it. But again, I what I loved about what Anna said was that it took her 60 days to start feeling the benefit of the exercise. And most of us are like, well, why did I lose 10 pounds? I went to the gym every day this week, and I did not lose 10 pounds.
So this
I'm out,
this
you know?
brings me to-
So it's ridiculous, like the way that I talk to Jay and I talk about this a lot. We always miscalculate the amount of time something is going to take us. We either think it's going to take us much, much longer or much, much shorter. Either way, we're horrific time calculators. And as such, like, we sabotage ourselves. And it's really important to just have patience.
Okay.
Lean in.
Bringing us to the last portion of the show, which deals with you, the audience. So we have a challenge for you this week, just like we're challenging ourselves. We've been here. This will be coming up. This is our 8th month, or 8.5 month, and we have in the past, made the decision to do this show as opposed to eat groceries.
Right, because we're
doing the show, the challenge to the audience this week is to write us on Facebook, to actually connect with us. Because we want to connect with you. I mean, this is what the show is about: is a safe space for sharing. And our number is 888-565-1470. We give that out online, give it out on the radio. But write us this week and interact with us. I mean, we want to start a community here that's going to support each other and start a dialogue on our Momentum Mindset page and become part of the conversation. Because we are in this together. We are stronger together.
Yeah.
And our hope is that you use this forum, this space, as an opportunity to grow and connect with yourself. The question that I get all the time, the number one question is, how did you do it? How did you get to this far? How is it that you completely shifted and changed your life? Well, I tell you, it started with that first day of getting into the gym. That's as simple as what it was.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from you. I want to, that and writing them those paper towels. I'd love to hear from you guys.
The paper towels are a really powerful thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Jay has his stories about how his paper towel was the the game changer this week, but I have a story too that says that it's my paper towel that actually was the game changer for the week. So either way, it doesn't matter. The point is that we do it, and it's, I don't know, it's exciting what shows up every single time that we do it. And for me, again, everybody has my personal take on all of this is that I was someone who was always the person who had an incredible amount of potential, and I wasn't reaching it, and I got sick of that story. And I'm here and doing my transformation because I'm really curious. I want to leave nothing. I want to go to my last breath having given it all in this life, having experienced as much as I possibly can, having lived as hard as I can, and love as much as I can, and just live it all on the table, and stop traffic again. That's it.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you next week, people.
And thanks, Kim, for continuing to write. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Momentum Mindset Show. For your hosts, Jay and Janine, we'll see you here next week. Thank you for being real, authentic, and honest.
If you'd like to reach us, please contact us on our Facebook page, The Momentum Mindset Show, or on our office phone line, which is 954-559-6987.
We are stronger together.
And remember, keep going.